Bonjour, New York. I think that's it. I need to switch to English. I was thinking that here could be the bubble. During 2 days every year, we can just speak French. And the Cedric and the Gael could have been the Pierre de Coubertin, like just during the Alpine Games, you can speak just English or you can speak French. And it's not the case. So I have to switch to English. Anyone can see the deck? I don't know. I don't know if I have to dance first. Okay, so no deck for now. I want to start this presentation asking you 2 questions. The first question is about how many people here are just, have you given something, money, time to social causes last year? So if you can raise your hands, the ones who have done something like this last year. So yeah, pretty impressive. Almost everyone. Now the second question, how many of you believe that you have given enough to social causes? Can you do the same? Can you raise your hands? Yeah, 1. Wow, impressive. So that maybe a bit more. And that's what I've realized over the last 10 years, that so many people are giving and are giving time, money to social causes. But the thing is, it's pretty hard to define how much we give, and most people don't give enough. And as an entrepreneur, when you see those numbers, you see the gap between those two numbers, and you can imagine that you have something to fix. And that's what we are doing at Epic Foundation. We are trying to bring solution to this issue. The philanthropic industry is broken. We all know this. Now, how can we change this? And that's what we are trying to do at Epic. But even before introducing just Epic Foundation, I need to introduce myself. Like Cedric said earlier, introduced me as an entrepreneur. I started my first venture when I was 17 years old. And since then, I'm pretty good at watching the wave coming, hopping on the board and riding the wave. I started this 15 years ago with a web agency. And after I've done this in the mobile space, in the social media space, my 2 last startups were sold, one to Publicis Group, very well known for the French community, and the last one to BlackBerry. But after my last startup, and when I sold it to BlackBerry, I asked myself a very important question: what's next? And for me, it was pretty clear that the next big thing for me will have to be around the social industry. And that was not just coming overnight, or it didn't happen overnight. It was very important to me since way younger. But the thing is, when you're an entrepreneur and when you want to start a new business, any kind of business, you start with a market research. And that's what I've done at Epic Foundations. Basically, a few years ago, I knew nothing about philanthropy, and I started just knocking on doors. So I started with my resume, my bio, and I started knocking on doors. I started with the Gates Foundation, the Omidyar Network, people there's very knowledgeable people from this industry. And I started asking questions. They were so nice, so kind, and they introduced me to other people. And I've done this during 3 years. I was still running businesses, but on the side, during my spare time, I was just trying to better understand this industry. But it was not enough. So when I sold my last startup 2 years ago, my lovely wife had a wonderful idea saying we should travel the world. And we took the kids around the world. And when we were just traveling, we were also meeting people everywhere, from Mongolia to Peru, from Russia to New Zealand. And the goal of this was exactly the same thing, is asking questions to those local entrepreneurs, social entrepreneurs, the philanthropists, or the policymakers. And that's the picture of the family. Just so we have 2, yeah, we have 2. So it's 2 moms on the 2 extremes. It was in Vietnam, the border with China. And the interesting thing, after this trip, we went back a year ago here, a bit more than a year ago. And then the question was more, okay, now I've done this trip, now I've met so many people, what are the findings? Why so many people with money? Why so many people with power are not giving more, are not doing more good. And then, I started trying to understand this deeper. And I realized that people don't give more for 3 reasons. The first is pretty obvious. People don't trust. And people don't trust social organizations. Second reason is people don't have the time. I think most of you work too hard, too much for sure, and you don't have time. And the third is the knowledge. You are very good in finance, you are very good in tech, but this third sector is so different. So you prefer sometimes not giving or giving small amounts than giving huge amounts. That's on one side. On the other side, everyone, you or me, before making any decisions in their life, we follow the same mental path. And what is this mental path? Before making a decision, we want to have enough choices. Before making a decision, we want to be able to track what we do. And before making a decision, we want to be able to experience what we have done. And that's true in our personal lives, that's true in our business life. These tools and those tools don't exist in a nonprofit world. Before buying a new car, before renting a new place, before dating a new girl, you always use you want your choices, you want to track, you want the experience. Those tools should exist in a nonprofit world, and that's what we do at Epic Foundation. So if I go deeper in the explanation, the selection part, every year, beginning of the year, we receive applications. So a core focus is youth in 6 regions around the world. When we say youth, is protection, health, and education. 6 regions around the world, the US, Brazil, Western Europe, Paris, la France, East Africa, India, and Southeast Asia. That's what we cover. Every year, we receive zillions of applications. This year, we've received 1,400 applications coming from 85 countries. And like a VC, we spend 6 months to select and to vet only 20 of them. That's how it works. And by September 1st to December 31st, we go and we present those organizations to tech entrepreneur, family offices, private banks, artists, singers, athletes, or corporations. And what we are proposing is every year we come over to see you, to bring you what's the best organization tackling youth issues around the world. Everything we do is free. So we're not charging anyone. We are self-funding, and I'm self-funding the structure. The goal is to have a very pure model where if you want to do more, if you want to give, it's very hard to find. And we're proposing everything like a venture capitalist, but for free. So that's really what we do in terms of selection. In terms of tracking, that's even easier and easier for you to understand this because we're talking about big data every day. This morning, again, with PlaceMeter or other organizations, how can we just track this data? How can we just basically see what the real impact of your money? And that's the very important thing. I think none of us want to wait a year to get the brochure and see what the impact of our money. Now, that's a good thing. Through and thanks to technology, we can follow the money. We can exactly see how many liters of fresh water have been delivered in this village in Africa, or how many shots have been given in Asia. So that's something totally different. And that would have been possible 2 or 5 years ago. Now we can't do this. And the third one is the experience. The experience is obviously important. If you want to understand, you need to go and see. So we're asking donors to go and visit organizations where they are putting their money. If they can't, we are sending film directors, journalists to film everything. The power, and that's why I'm surrounded by cameras here, the power of this is very important. We need to show people that amazing things are happening around the world, and that's what we need to show. And if people can go, we should bring this content to them. So that's what we do at Epic Foundation. But if we go beyond this, I think we can talk about 3 very important elements. And all of us here, we have 1, 2, or 3 of those elements: skills, resources, and networks. So whoever you are, if you're 20, maybe you have more skills and not resources yet. But after we have most of the time, all the 3. The question is always the same: what can we do with this? How can we just take more of those elements and do good with them? I want to share with you 3 amazing stories of people I've met this year. One, in this picture, has been taken in the favela in Brazil. I was with a social entrepreneur, former drug dealer. nice guy, for sure. He went to jail, and after his jail time, he started just, he found a job. And what he's doing now is trying to help other kids after jail to find a job and not to go to this bad cycle. And we were walking exactly in that place, and then he stopped walking. He said, okay. He said, you know what, Alexandre? No, we are very similar. He said, we are similar? A tech entrepreneur with a former drug dealer? Interesting. And he said, yes, I'm an entrepreneur as well. I'm an entrepreneur. When I was running my small cartel, I was an entrepreneur. I was finding new clients, trying to buy very cheap price and selling at a very high price. So it was interesting. He was an entrepreneur. But at the end, it was interesting. He told me, now I'm using my skills to be able to sell, to be able to convince other people to drive more kids to the right side. That's for sure an interesting story. The second one is about the resources. This guy is one of the largest, bigger donor in New York City. But the thing is giving everything anonymously. So you will never know this guy is such a charming guy, but is almost just anonymous. It's another way to give. And the third story is about the network. We all have a network, wherever we are. This story is an interesting one. Again, in Brazil, this dentist is a well-known dentist in Sao Paulo named Fabio. And a few years ago, he started treating kids with, as you can see on the picture, pretty bad dental condition. And you need to understand that when you have bad dental condition, that will have an impact on your social life because it's pretty hard to build a family, and it will be also pretty hard to find a job. So if you can change this, for sure, you can change people's life. And that's what he started doing. He started doing by himself, treating 1, 2, 5 kids, and then he started talking to his network of dentists. 5 years after, you have 15,000 dentists in Brazil giving for free treatment for those kids. So it's thousands and thousands of kids we're treating every year for free, from 11 years old to 18 years old. And that's totally sustainable. So you don't have to raise money for this. It's just the power of their network. And that's very important. Now they're going to Colombia, Venezuela. I'm sure we can do the same here in the US. So that's the impact, the use, and the best use of those different elements. I want just to close my presentation with these 2 slides. This one is a picture coming from Chiang Mai in Thailand. And I want to share this with you because that's what we are trying to achieve at the EPIC Foundation. We want to give a better education system and access to those kids. We want to give them better access to the health system. We need to do this, and wherever those kids are. And after, let me challenge you a bit more, and I'm sure you have understood this since the very beginning. The question is more about our skills, our resources, and our network. How can we give? How can we give more? And that's what we want to share with you today. Is everything we do is open source. We are happy to welcome you if you want to be part of the journey, trying to just change life of those kids wherever they are and whatever they need. So all my contact details are here. Feel free to ping me if you see something cool. Thank you. I know.
Yeah, that was perfect.
Yeah, you asked me just something shorter. I did it.
All right, very good. Thank you, Alexandre. Very inspiring, very interesting, and I invite you all to join. Thank you.